God's grandson of right thought. Welcome to the School of Marvelous Light, little flock. Go with me to the book of James, chapter 16. Excuse me, I said James. I meant John, chapter 16. The book of John, chapter 16. We're going to start at verse 19. And it says, Now Yahushua knew that they were desirous to ask him, and said unto them, Do ye inquire among yourselves of that I said, A little while, and you shall not see me, and again a little while, and you shall see me? So now, what is the desire of the little flock? Like it says there, they were desirous to inquire. Remember, we did a video about that recently. The name Shaul means to inquire or to ask. So you see how that's how they were feeling in that moment? They were inquiring as to their state of being. How would it be peaceful and glad and rejoicing when they have just heard what they've heard? Do you understand, little flock? This idea of separation from your husband, you see, causes you to feel sorrow and sadness, and you're trying to understand, well, then what should I be glad for? He said, it is expedient for you that I go away, because if I didn't go away, then I couldn't send you the comforter. So it's expedient for you. The word expedient means helpful or good, positive, for your benefit. You see? So it's actually for your benefit that I go away, even though it doesn't seem like it. You see? So the little flock feels this sadness and this sorrow. But we want to talk about that because it's going to explain how we feel right before our breakthrough comes, right before the thing that we seek for comes. You see? And you must know this, because if you don't know this, then when that sadness and sorrow comes and it becomes very intense, then you will start to believe that you don't have your desire, that you will not have the thing that you seek for. That's what the travail is designed for, the sorrow that you go through. You see? It's going to help you, in other words, but we're going to get into it. So he says, Verily, verily, I say unto you, that you shall weep and lament. You hear that, little flock? Truly, truly you shall. You're going to cry. You're going to be in sadness, but the world shall rejoice. So you see how there's two different worlds I keep telling you guys about? There's the one that God loves, and then there's the one that God hates. The one that God hates is called Esau. The one that God loves is called Jacob. Jacob I have loved. Esau I have hated. Esau is the end of the world. Jacob is the world that followeth it. So it's very clear what God is saying about what he loves, what he don't love. So while his children are sad and lamenting, the world is rejoicing. You see that? They're partying, or just like in the days of Noah, they were eating and drinking, marrying and giving in marriage. You see that there? But the world shall rejoice, and you shall be sorrowful. See the difference between the two? But watch this, little flock. But your sorrow shall be turned into joy. So you shall weep, lament, and be sorrowful. But all of that sadness, tears, lamentation, all of that shall be turned into joy. So the end of the thing, though the moment is sorrowful, it's hurtful, it's frustrating, it's burdensome to you, though for the moment it shall be turned into joy. That's the end of it. Do you see what I'm saying? Continuing. A woman, listen closer, the flock. A woman, when she is in travail, hath sorrow. So do you see? Now, I told you guys, I was blessed to recently, not even a month ago, have caught a child that was being born into the world. So I was there from the beginning of the labor until the child was born, and I caught the child in my arms, cut his umbilical cord and everything. So I was there for the whole process. And when it first started, the woman said, I think my labor's starting because things are getting intense. So now, little flock, I want you to hear that nice and good, what I just told you, because that means that when your breakthrough is about to come, the thing that you have longed for, see how the grandson is always talking about it, a man and a woman making love, producing a child, is what you do when you think about something, the man, and then you feel it, which is the woman, and then it produces an experience for you, which is the child. Do you see that there? Now, a bond woman or bond feelings that are in bondage to sin, can only produce bond children. Or in other words, Hagar, which is Sinai, gendereth to bondage. She can only make bond children because she is a bond woman herself. But the woman who is free, Jerusalem, which is Sarah, which is the mother of us all, see, gendereth to free children. You understand? Children that are not bondage to their 3D circumstances, because that's what Sarah was not in bondage to. That's what Abraham was not in bondage to. Their old age, their fruitlessness as far as having children. If they had thought about that, then there was no way that they could have a child. And that's why the child is named He Who Laughs, because their sorrow about not having children was turned into joy when she brought forth that child. So shall it be when you bring forth your child, which is your Isaac, which is your free child. You see, the experience that you came up with on your own. Don't you get it? Instead of trying to go to Hagar to get your child. No, Sarah, you're going to have your own son. You see that there? Your own experience that has nothing to do with the outside world. It conquers the outside world in order for it to be experienced, like Isaac had to do. He had to conquer over the old age of his mother's womb, over his mother not being able to give suck to her child because of her old age, his father being almost 100 years old. You see, against all odds, he came, and so shall yours. That's the point I'm trying to get you to see here. He says, because her hour is come. So that's why she has sorrow. I want you to hear that part nice and good too, little flock. She had sorrow because what did it say? Because her hour is come. So when your hour is come to receive the blessing that you've been longing for, guess what you're gonna feel? Agonia, just like the racer I told you about, the track star I told you about, that feels the jitters or the nerves before he takes off in that race. When they say set and he gets in the blocks, agonia, the nervousness, the pit of the stomach, you feel like you gotta pee, you feel like you gotta throw up. You see, so does that woman when her hour has come. Because that's his hour to get his gold medal he's been fighting for his whole life. You have to fight through the agonia. You have to fight through the 3D feelings so that you can obtain what it is you seek for. So does that woman. And because of my experience, not only that time catching that baby, there's been other times I've also been in there to catch babies as well. And I always inquire and ask the mother of her experience. And it's always the same. Labor pains strike, fear comes upon the woman. And as the labor pains increase, as she gets closer to her desire, as the labor pains increase, the fear increases. The doubt that I will be able to do it increases. And then eventually she gets to the point where she dies to that and must encourage herself in the Lord, as David did, when you feel sorrow and when you feel, I can't do it. You must encourage yourself in the name of I am. I am doing it. What do I mean I can't do it? I am doing it. I am looking at my child healthy in my arms. That's encouraging yourself in Abba, see? I'm finished. Whoo, what a relief. That's what we're about to read next, you see? That's what we're about to read next. So she has sorrow because her hour has come, verse 21. But as soon, listen, little flock, but as soon as she is delivered of the child, as soon as the manifestation peeks his little head out of the womb, guess what happens? She remembereth no more the anguish. You hear that word anguish? Hard, bloody, sweaty, just like Yahusha. Just like Yahusha, he sweat blood Because that's what a woman does when she's in labor. She bleeds and she sweats. She does both because she's laboring. She's in travail. She's about to get her heart's desire, which is a man child has been born. Let's continue to read and see. Let's continue to read and see. She remembereth no more the anguish for the joy. Didn't he say earlier, your sorrow shall be turned into joy? When will it be? When you hold your manifestation in your hands and experience it. In other words, now I can see who was in my womb kicking me all that time. Now I can see who was giving me all that heartburn, you little hairy-headed little baby. Now I can see why I couldn't pee. I mean, why I had to pee every 5 minutes. Why I couldn't pee. Why I had to pee every 5 minutes. You see? Because of you in there flipping around. It was you, joy. See? For joy that a man is born into the world, and ye now therefore have sorrow. See there? So now it's sorrow. But I will see you again, and your heart shall rejoice. And your joy no man taketh from you. Do you hear that today, little flock? Nobody can take your joy away when you have seen the proof and the truth of your manifestation that you have longed for, that you have hoped for, even though there was no evidence that it existed. When it manifests, that joy you have, nobody can take it away, which means no one can steal it. That's what take it away means. Nobody can steal the fact that you now know how you obtained what you were seeking for. And now you know the process. So if a woman has 7 children, how many times has she travailed? That's right, little flock. Every time she has a child, she travails. And she gets to a moment during that travail when it gets very intense, where she feels like she can no longer go on. That's when the child is coming. So that's when you need to go on. That's when you need to hang on, because that means the child is coming. That's why you feel like you can't go on anymore. Now, why do we feel like we can't go on anymore? Because that child doesn't come by your own power, mother. Abba brings forth. Abba giveth the increase. Abba says, do I bring to the labor and not bring forth? Do you see what I mean? He does it. So then when the woman realizes all I have to do is fall into the hands of I am and speak his name in truth over my circumstance, then it will be smooth sailing and I will have my joy, and the sorrow will pass away instantly. As soon as I have my joy, the sorrow will pass away instantly. Can't you see it, little flock? So the reason why I'm zoning in on this is because I want you all to realize that sorrow and travail and that lamentation that he described to you. Now you have sorrow. So people that don't want to come to the truth, a lot of times it's because they don't want to experience the sorrow. And you know why? Remember when Paul said, when I seek to do good, evil is present with me? Do you remember that? What is that evil that he was describing that's present with him? Well, I want you guys to think about the 7 deadly sins. Google it if you need to. It's not hard. Find out what they are. I can sum all 7 deadly sins up in one saying: selfishness. Okay? So watch what I'm telling to you. Every time you seek to do good, good is giving up yourself for your neighbor. So every time you seek to do an act that requires you to give up of yourself to give to another, selfishness creeps in to stop you from doing it. It's not somebody outside of yourself trying to convince you not to do the good thing. It's your own selfish nature. The flesh has a selfish nature to preserve itself. And it will do some very uncouth things to preserve its life. So that's why the husband came and told us, take no thought for your life. Stop thinking selfishly. Take no thought of what you'll eat or what you'll drink, but seek ye first the kingdom of heaven. What's the kingdom of heaven? That you do unto others as you would have them do unto you. You're not considering others when you think about yourself. You're too selfish to love your neighbor. It's that simple. That's the evil that's always present with you. If you have a sandwich and a man standing next to you is starving and you go break the sandwich in half to give him half, what's going to happen inside of you? Damn, man, that might be the last sandwich we get, man. Shit, man, that was for you, brother. See, there's no one outside of yourself that's coming. The evil that he said that's always there. It's your selfish nature. All the 7 deadly sins have to do with selfishness. Because if you're selfish, then you're dead. You can't keep God's commandment. A lot of selfish people think they keep God's commandments because they throw out the cornerstone. See? So they believe that it allows them to still serve God, but still be selfish. It doesn't work that way. You can't. You will serve one or the other. Mammon is selfishness. Gain for self. How to get more and get more and get more for me. What does Cain's name mean? It means to acquire. It's very easy to understand this, isn't it, little flock? That wicked one, Cain, who slew his brother. See? Selfishness causes you to kill your brother. Okay, he wasn't thinking about himself. Well, let's see. And why did he kill his brother? Because his brother's acts were righteous and his were wicked. So he slew his brother because of his own wickedness. See what I mean? So what did he say? Am I my brother's keeper? Well, ask Yahusha. Love each other as I have loved you and have given myself up. See, that's the key. Can you give yourself up if you're thinking selfishly all the time? Can you step out of the limelight for somebody else to step into it if all you're thinking about is having the limelight for yourself? Can you step out of it? No. And if anyone else is in it, you will envy them for being in it while you're not. But there's a reason they're in it and you're not. You see, it didn't just happen. There's a reason they're in the limelight and you're not in it. But instead of doing what it takes to get in the limelight, you just envy them for being in it and you kill them so you can take their spot. Don't you understand it? Every manifestation takes labor. So everything that a person does that we marvel at or say, oh, wow, that's amazing. It took work. It took travail. A lot of, like I told you, a lot of vanity breathing. Same thing when you're in labor. You have to breathe. Well, this is what I told you guys yesterday. So you see how it's connected? When you're faced with the circumstance and it seeks to bring fear into your life, you have to breathe. Same thing the woman has to do to get through her labor. She has to stay relaxed, cool, calm, and use the breath. Do you understand it correctly? It's just that simple. So when we get close to the thing that we desire, we're going to have an intense travail because that's what the mother does. You will see her, the contractions will be going, and they'll be kind of spaced out. So that means in our lives, a contraction will happen and we'll feel the tightness of it, but it won't be so intense, but we'll get through it. And then we breathe. Ooh, that was a hell of a little test there. Shit, I felt that. Okay. Then a couple minutes later, here comes another one. Bam. Oh, shit. Another contraction. Ooh, shit. Uh-oh. Now, let's say you had an idea in your head of a manifestation for yourself. You had a desire that you sought after for your lifestyle. So maybe the lifestyle that you're living currently doesn't match the image that you show God. Don't you see it? In other words, the job you're working now, the place you live now, the food you eat now matches the man you are now. But maybe that manifestation that you have put out there, that man has to eat differently. Maybe he dresses differently. Maybe he walks a little differently. Maybe he's a different man that matches that different circumstance. So you have to become that new man. Well, that means you have to shed the old man in order to step into your new manifestation. And some of that shedding, or what we call pruning, hurts. Because maybe some of the friends that you have in that life that you're living don't match the manifestation you're asking for. So some of them got to go. Well, when they go, that travail. Oh, shit. I thought you were my friend. You betrayed me. Well, he had to show you that so that you could get to the next level. As long as you're in that level that you're in or in that state that you're in, believing you are what you are, he's going to be there and he's going to be your friend, even though he's just taking advantage of you and using you. Once you switch to the new frequency, he's not there. He's not in your place of calm and peace. He only exists as long as you're afraid. I don't know if y'all can see that or not. I don't know if you guys can hear me or not. I hope you can, because it's very clear what I'm saying to you. Right now on the earth is going to be an increase of travail because we're getting close to the manifestation. And as you know, there's somebody waiting there for our manifestation to destroy it. That's the child. We just read it. We just read it. Our hope is to see him again. That's what he said. And because I'm leaving, you're going to be sad. And you're going to be waiting to see me again. And at times you're going to think you're not going to ever see me again. But you will. And when you do, then you're going to rejoice like a woman does who just gave birth to her man-child. That's what he said. So then we understand the man-child that Revelation is talking about, that red dragon wants to destroy. Evil is always present. The red dragon. Those 7 deadly sins. It's all the same. That's why he got 7 heads, guys. Doesn't he? But he may as well just be called selfish. Because that's what he's there to do. To steal, kill, and destroy. To preserve self. Well, that ain't never going to work. But people do it all the time, don't they? You see people getting blackmailed by somebody. They say, hey, man, look at these pictures I got of you. You were cheating on your wife. I got the pictures right here. The guy's all shocked looking. Oh, all right. So what we need you to do is wire us $2 million or I'm going to leak these pictures to the press. Now, this is some senator or something. So he's all panicking and scared about the shit being exposed. So what does he do? He pays the money. Or he gets some guy to kill that guy that has the pictures and get the pictures and give them to him so he can hide them in his safe or dispose of them. Isn't it true? So then you see what people are willing to do to preserve their own life. But if you seek to save your life, you're just going to lose it because you're going to lose your soul, which is the more value than that fleshly body. That's why he said, why fear men who can destroy the body instead of fear Abba who can destroy the body and the soul? See, men can't destroy your soul. So then they're not as powerful. That's simple. So why treat them as though they are? As if they have some pull over you. People are so scared of the truth that they rather kill somebody than to just admit to the truth of wrong that they've done. That's going to save you. That's what heals you, is confession of sin. That's what the Bible says. But if you're scared and you're hiding your sin, can you be healed? No. So in other words, if you abort your manifestation, will you have your child? If you thought of an ideal you wanted, but then the thief came through and stole it, so you took a plan B spiritually, then you won't have the child that you sought for. If you have sex and you pull out and bust a nut on the ground, then you won't get a child from that woman. I'm talking about manifesting. It's always about sex, and it's always about how you have it. That's why Abba gave us rules concerning it. Because 2 things become 1 thing. As a man think in his heart. Don't you feel in your heart? So then that's why the grandson says, think feelingly. You can think a mundane thought that's vain and empty. You can also think a thought that you feel. That's becoming 1. Let your eye be single. Think and feel the same thing. Think a righteous thought, then you will feel a joyous feeling. You think an unrighteous thought, then you will feel a terrible feeling. You see? It's not hard. It starts with what you think. So if you think the right thoughts, you'll feel the right feelings, and now you're 1 person. And now you can have a child, because that's what it takes to have a child. The man and the woman must become 1. You see it? So now during the labor, what does the man do? What do your thoughts do? They support your feelings with the right thoughts. In the labor, the man goes, oh, baby, it's okay. You got this. You got it. You're strong. Look at you. I told you when you say you're just I-aming them. You're arming them. So you say, you're strong, baby. This is nothing to you. You're a woman. Woman was made to do this. I'm in awe of how strong you are. It's amazing what you've done. That's all he's doing is supporting her. Breathe, baby. Breathe. Relax. Relax. Just let me know what you need and I'll get it for you. That's all he's doing during the process of the laboring. So shall it be inside of you. You're anticipating the coming of the baby. Your thoughts are. So you can't stop thinking about that manifestation that you have. You can't wait to experience it. Those are your thoughts. So you lovingly keep your feelings on that hope. That's you saying that to you. Let's say the thing is a new house and you're living in an old busted house and you wanted this particular house for a very long time. It was the desire you hoped for. So by faith, you sought it. You already been in it. You're already living in this house, cooking in the kitchen, laying in the bed and everything. Well, then you get a call. Hey, man, the house is yours. You're going to feel great joy. But in the meantime, before you get that call, Your feelings start to doubt every now and again. I can't do it, baby. I don't believe it. I don't think we're going to get the house. I don't believe I can have this baby. I don't believe I can push the baby. I'm so tired. I'm so weary. I'm so tired of fighting the good fight. Do you hear? That happens to every woman before she pushes the baby out. And it happens right before she pushed the baby out. It don't happen in the beginning of the labor. It happens at the end, right before she pushed the baby out. You ever heard of that term called the ring of fire? Do you understand what it means? So shall it be with your manifestation. It passes through a ring of fire. You see, where you have to die in order to receive the thing that you hope for. The woman has to die to how she feels and thinks about that welfare of that baby. And that's what brings it through. So then what does that mean for you, little flock? You die to all the false feelings that say you don't have the baby, and you give up yourself so that you can bring forth your manifestation. I give up myself. My selfishness is making me think I don't have enough money. It's making me think I'm not smart enough to obtain it. It's making me think I don't have access. I live too far away. I don't have a passport to go there. I don't have the credentials that I need to get in that position. I don't have this. I don't have that. Do you see? Do you see what the sorrow and the tears is about? Do you see? But all that's going to be turned to joy. You see? Because your manifestation has come. All that doubting, all that going back and forth was vanity, because here it is. I have it now. Now I forgot all of the shit I was going through. That's what he said would happen for you. You're going to forget it. And the scriptures bear witness to this in several places. He says that you won't even remember the former things, guys. They won't even enter your mind. Do you see how good of an experience is waiting for you? So much, it's so good that when you get there, you won't even remember the tears that you had. There will be no tears, no sorrow, no sadness, no night there, no stress, no lacking. Do you hear it, little flock, or not? Do you hear it? That's the child we wait for. That's the world that selfishness is trying to prevent. Can you guys see that it's selfishness? The beast is selfishness. That's what a beast is. You've never seen some hyenas eating on a carcass. And the alpha hyena, she's sitting there eating the biggest parts. And then another hyena comes to get a chunk. What does that alpha do? Why? Because I'm above all of you. I am and none of you else. See what I'm trying to say? See what I'm trying to say? Because of that selfish, me, gluttonous, ravenous attitude. It's not hard to understand it. Selfishness is what killing, destroying, stealing is selfishness. Me. I. See? You got some lions there. The alpha lion is standing over the damn carcass, biting and chewing all the pieces he wants. Here comes a little jackal to get him a nibble. The lion chases his ass off and swipes him till he damn near takes his hide off his back. Why? Told you why. That's why in the new kingdom, in my days, while I'm living on the earth, the lion shall eat straw. That's why. Because the red dragon did not prevent our kingdom from coming. Do you understand that? It ain't hard to understand it. It's not. Selfishness could not prevent brotherly love from prevailing. Brotherly love will prevail over selfishness. Because what's the enemy of brotherly love? It's so easy to see. It's obviously selfishness. It's obviously selfishness prevents brotherly love. I would do that, brother, but I gotta die. But I. Sister, help me. Brother, help me. I would, but I. About to go buy this. Brother, can I have $1? No, because I have to buy that. I have to get. What do you mean, can you get? I'm getting. I'm acquiring. The hell do you mean you need to acquire? I need to acquire. That's what happens in the world. The guy goes, can I get $20? The guy goes, go get a job. I worked for mine, go work for yours. I've heard it everywhere I went. That's brotherly love? Or is that the enemy of brotherly love? So then what is it? What does that sound like to you when a brother says, go get a job and do it for yourself? I did it for myself. You go do it for yourself. Does that sound like someone who is a servant to his brother? Someone who follows Christ and does as Christ does? Someone who loves their brother as Christ has loved us? Yeah, when Peter started sinking, Christ said, I'm walking on the water, Peter. Why don't you just get your ass up here and walk like I am? Well, help me, Yahusha. I would, but I have to walk on this water. But I told you, a storm, my situation. What happened when they were on the water? A storm kicked up, and Peter took his eyes off Yahusha and started thinking about my own situation. I'm going to drown. See? Well, then how come Yahusha isn't? That's all, folks. That's right. So keep your eye on Yahusha. Keep your eye on the man-child. Keep your eye on the manifestation, the Son of Man. Keep your eye on the result of the hope you have. Keep your eye on the substance. Substance is Yahusha standing there. You're feeling him. You're touching him. You're looking at the holes. You're like, wow, behold the hand, behold the nail. Wow. You guys understand that mystery. Just like when a man was like, I'll believe it when I put my hand in the side and feel the wound and feel the holes in his hands. Do you see why I said that? Then I'll believe that it's him for real. Okay, well, let that be your hope and your desire. And then when you do it, then you'll know the joy that I'm talking about. And the sorrow shall pass away. And the doubt as to how you'll get anything else will pass. And you'll never go back again. You will eternally be free. That's the eternal life that he came to give you. How to bear children. How to put another image forth. How to be fruitful and multiply. That's what he taught us how to do. How to be a true husbandman. Because that's what you want to do with your garden. You want to make it flourish and increase. Husbandmen know how to do that. They know how to make their woman increase in her beauty, in her safety, in her protection. Husband will do that for her. And once he does that for her, then she will increase and give him her fruit. That's just the way it is. Because he's pruned all the bad things off of her. Now she can bear good fruit. Isn't it easy to understand, little flock? So y'all be blessed today, understanding that right before the blessing comes, the travail becomes very intense. And right now the travail is intense. Okay? I'm warning you all. I'm just preparing you. I'm not warning you of some negative thing. Just like I wouldn't tell that woman, hey, it's about to get intense for any negative reason. I tell her it's about to get intense, which means your baby's about to come. So then your baby's about to come should be your primary thought, not the intensity of the feeling you feel. That's just the signal that the baby's coming, which is your joy. See what I'm telling you about right thought? How it teaches you how to think right about the circumstances? You'll go through some hard shit and your family will give you advice that ain't nothing like what I just told you. Oh man, I don't know what to say. This is so devastating. I can't believe that fucked up that bad in your life. You've lost what you said? Everything? Wow, I can't believe it. Well, you have to give up the old for the new. Did you want something new before you lost everything? Yeah, I did. Well, then there you have it. That's why you lost the old. You see that there? So once you understand these things, then fear goes out the way. Perfect love come in and you perfectly love your child. You wait to hold him in your arms, perfectly loving him. So y'all be blessed, little flock. Silouan, Mr. Allah.